Alright, welcome back. It will be time to take a look at one of the next vehicles that you can unlock within the M47 platoon. Now, this tank is probably the cutest tank in the game right now. I mean, just look at this little thing. It's adorable. Adorable, but quite scary. Quite scary indeed. So this is the T114. This is technically a tank destroyer, although a very weird one. It's definitely a very odd design, but if I have to be honest, I like it. So it has a 106mm main cannon. It is quite fast, goes 57 km per hour. Reverse is 13 km per hour, 18 horsepower per ton. It has only 9 tons. It's quite a light vehicle. It has only 2 crew members. 433mm penetration. Now, this is probably the highest penetration out of any vehicle in the game at the moment. It is using only heat shells, and it's kind of a rocket propelled grenade. I'll show the ammo specs in a second. Now, it also has a autoloader, 2.5 seconds. It can shoot 3 to 4 shells, and then the reload is a bit longer, so you can technically kill a tank really quickly with this thing. However, it is basically paper thin. Anything will penetrate the armor on this thing. A 7.62 machine gun, a 50 cal machine gun, doesn't matter what you're getting shot by, it goes in. High explosive will kill you. APCR shells will not kill you, by the way. They will over-penetrate. So if someone is shooting at you with APCR, they will have a very bad day, since, yeah, they can kill this thing with APCR. That's just how things go. No armor is best armor in some cases. The turret rotation is 20 degrees per second. So overall, I would say definitely a difficult to drive vehicle, since it's basically paper thin. So let me quickly show you the ammo stats and ammo type. Since the game doesn't let me do that from the main screen, I just have to quickly join a battle, and I will show you the characteristics of the shell. So M344A1 heat anti-tank grenade. It penetrates 430mm at 100 meters. It penetrates the same amount at 500 meters. Smallest angle of attack with 100% ricochet, 77 degrees. TNT equivalent 1.62 kilograms. Fuse sensitivity 0.01 millimeters. So basically, it explodes and it sends stuff inside of the vehicle. Now, on paper, it sounds quite lethal, but in practical use, it's a heat shell, and as you already know, heat shells know to be quite odd. So let me show you some gameplay of this little tank. Now, this tank is quite small. It's a very small target, so you should rely on long range. Definitely don't go within the enemy range. Well, I say enemy range, but you should rely on stealth long range, since it's paper thin and very easy to get killed while driving this thing. Now, the shell is quite slow. That is because of the very short barrel that you have. So you will have to aim up quite a bit if you want to hit the target. And sometimes you will not be able to see the tank that you're shooting at, since it will be way below. That's just how much you have to pull up the gun in order to hit the target. It's basically like a mortar. You are sending the shells flying from from top to bottom. However, I have to admit, this cute little tank has some... Did you see that? 433mm of penetration, and it doesn't penetrate a IS-2. That's just... Welcome to War Thunder, I guess. That's just how it goes. Now this tank also has some very interesting animations when it's reloading that I find quite interesting. You can see the animations when you fire the first couple shells. Now let me show you some bad luck. That was bad luck. My aim moved the second the shell was there, and that's M47 was a little bit lucky. So yeah, I definitely try to stay out of enemy line of sight and try to kill them when they are occupied with something else. And definitely don't do what I'm doing. Don't be in the open field, because if they see you, they will probably kill you, or you'll kill them. Since yeah, that was a nice hit on the M47. The main issue with this thing is when you're aiming, sometimes the aim just doesn't listen to you. They really need to add like a second aiming option where you can do the deeper zoom, since it doesn't work automatically in most cases, and they really need to add a form of zooming in without the tank being all the way down, since at long range, since you have to run on long range, you have to pull up the gun a lot, as you could see, and when you do that you don't really see the tank we're aiming at. So that's also one of the problems that you might spot with this tank. However, it's definitely a unique vehicle, and I oddly enjoy driving it, most likely because of the insane penetration that it has. It feels satisfying to use it. It feels very satisfying to use it. There's a T-54. I can easily penetrate a T-54, but this one is just hidden behind those buildings, and I definitely do not want to see what I'm talking about. I have to pull all the way up just to see where they are, and that's at 560 meters. Okay, it did penetrate the T-54. Second shell failed to connect. Third shell did no damage somehow. Okay, and fourth shell did destroy the turret ring on the T-54, but it didn't kill it, unfortunately. Now I'm reloading. Let's see, a Tiger 2. That was a nice hit. I kinda wish that this thing had a different ammo type. As you can see, it's still heat, and in a classic heat shell fashion, you hit the ammo and nothing happens, although it should have destroyed the ammo, but it didn't. But it sure does destroy the engine when you don't want to. And let me try to get the ammo second time, or I guess not. Kill gets stolen. The autoloader is a very nice feature on this tank. I love it. Just that the shell doesn't really do much when it penetrates, which is the most annoying aspect of this tank. You can already tell that I am not a big fan of the heat shells in War Thunder. I love the AP-HE and APDS. They seem to be doing the best damage-wise, at least so far. I know with AP-HE, when I do hit the ammo, the tank just dies, because that's just what the shell does. It explodes when it penetrates. APDS does do the same, but AP-HE is much more efficient. When you hit the ammo with that shell, it just kills the tank. The hit should do the same, since, you know, it should technically explode when it does, but nope. Not when I'm shooting it. FV42, and I missed the first shell. I see only the turret. First shell did kill 2 crew members. Second one killed the other crew member. Now 3 crew members are dead. That shell missed. Well, now I'm doing no damage on the FV4202. Well, I don't see any other part of the tank where I can send a shell flying to, so I'll just keep on shooting at it, I guess. I am in the base, so I'm technically reloading ammo while being here, so I can afford to just waste shots like that, because, you know, it's fun to shoot stuff. Okay, reloading finished. The autoloader also should have finished loading in the 4 shells. Oh no, that's not good. Let's move. Do not want to risk getting shot by that thing for sure. That's a Death Star. Doombarn. I don't really see where my shell will land, but I'll fire anyway. Nah, no way. Yeah, that was close. Now you might be wondering, I can just reduce the zoom. Well, actually, no. When it's all the way zoomed in and focused on a tank, the zoom stays the same. Which, you know, is a very... I would say... a very weird thing when you rely on range, since you definitely do not want to be close to anything in something as paper thin as this. Long range is going to keep you... should keep you safe. Although the current aiming mechanics are definitely... they have to be improved. If you have a tank like this, then the aiming mechanics definitely have to be improved in the game. Now, I can kinda go and try to capture the base, although not something I would like to do with this thing. Also, you might be thinking 433mm penetration would kill a T95. Well, it did kill it, but in the second hit. It also, the shell itself travels quite slowly, so you have to really lead the aim quite a bit in order to land a hit on a distant moving target. Although I don't really mind that, it does kind of give character to it. Now I have a T10A here, and I'm hoping they're not looking at me. They're not. Okay, that was nice. That was a very satisfying hit. A very satisfying hit. And it did blow up the T10 in the first impact, which, you know, doesn't happen that often. Now I'll capture the base, and then I'll probably relocate to try and snipe more tanks here. Now I know that there are some spots where you can climb on top of the hills. I don't really like to climb there, since when you do that with this tank, all the aircraft of the enemy team all of a sudden spawns around you, and they like to drop bombs around you, and they also like to use their machine guns to kill you. The machine guns on an aircraft does have enough power to kill this tank, so you really want to remain as hidden as possible, and you also want to remain as far away from the enemy tanks as possible, since if they do spot you, they will want you dead. After all, you have a very nasty 433mm penetrating cannon, or, well, technically a cannon, although it has a very interesting... the ammo on this thing is very interesting. So far, I like it. It penetrates more than the Death Star, which is hilarious. Okay, let's go to the next match. Now, on this map, you can go on the side here and try to snipe, although It's very risky to be in any type of open environment with this thing, since again, no armor. Anything can easily kill you if it wants to kill you. So yeah, very risky. But I'll try to get the first couple hits off, and then I'll be changing position, waiting for something to pop in around the corner. With this tank, you really need to rely on stealth and patience. Can't just run around, shoot stuff like with the medium tanks, since you know the medium tanks can take a hit, and if you angle them properly, they will take basically no damage. With this tank, yeah, it's different. You can't really do that. Although it is quite small, and this thing can fit in some very hilarious places. So the stealth part is really well done on this little tank. And it has only 2 crew members, which is also funny. Now waiting for something to pop in. You can also check the map. And okay, it did hit the T-44, but it survived. You can actually see the autoloader loading in the shell once you shoot, which is interesting. You can basically wait for the shell to be loaded in. There we go. Actually, it's still alive. I hit the ammo, but it was still alive. A T95. Let me not get in the way of that thing. Let me go on the side here. There we go. Nice view on the side armor. There we go. Nice. AMX. Destroyed. Nice. At first I actually thought that this tank would be quite slow, but it turns out that it is quite speedy. A lot of players told me that it would be slow, so I expected it to be slow, but I was wrong. Okay, nice. Another AMX kill. Let me go back for a second. I don't like being in the open with this thing. It's a very bad idea. Well, that was rude. Why did that Su-152 ram this cute little tank? How can they do that? This is such a cute tank. This is honestly the cutest tank in the game at the moment. I love it. Now, since it's paper, you also do not want to be around any artillery, because even if it doesn't directly hit you, the artillery will still do some damage too. And when I mean some damage, a lot of damage. Tiger 2 destroyed in one hit. That's something that doesn't happen that often. Although I'm always trying to aim at the weak spots, always trying to aim at the ammo, always trying to kill the tank in the first hit. But in a lot of cases that just doesn't happen, and the game just decides to troll me, and you know. The shell doesn't even go in the same direction where I want it to go. Oh no. That's a huge angry tank looking at me. And last one. There we go. Nice. That was a good one. Let's see if something else pops in around the corner. Now this tank has surprisingly a lot of ammo. Not as much ammo as some of the medium tanks, but it has a lot of ammo. I actually expected it to have about 13 shells, but it has 26, 28, which honestly is really nice for its small size. And you only have one ammo type. You can't really change that, which is fine. That was a nice one. That was a nice match. Let's go to the next one. Now on this map, I like to go over there. There is a little pile of coal where I like to lurk around. And since you're fast, you can actually get there quite quickly and lurk around the corner, basically peek around the corner, and whatever tank comes in, you will have a very nice shot at them. Just like this. You wait and see what comes through. You have the element of surprise, and you should have the first shell fired, and you should make the best out of that first shell. So now we wait to see what happens. It might look like this tank is not that much fun to drive, but I can assure you this thing is hilariously fun to drive. Mostly because it is challenging, and the way the autoloader works, it is satisfying to use. And that is more than enough reason for me to actually drive this thing. It's a very fun tank. It is difficult to drive, that's true, but it is fun, so I am not complaining about it. Now my ping is definitely not helping much. My ping is very high as usual. I think this tank has enough penetration to go through a mouse, and we know that the mouse is in the leopard platoon, so that's going to be fun to see how it goes. And it has all flat surfaces, so the mouse is definitely going to be killed by this thing a lot when it is released. Cannot wait for the leopard platoon to be out. And yes, as you could see, this tank can't break the pipes. That's just how lightweight it actually is. And there is one tank over there. Oh, it's a Yak Tiger. Okay, nice. First hit. Second hit, let's nope out. And a third one. There we go. Let's move and try to move to the side now, since the Tiger is repairing. Okay, there is the Tiger. And they're still alive, although I unloaded so many shells in the face of that tank. Somehow the explosion doesn't go further from the crew members. It's like the crew members are absorbing the impact. Very realistic. Although in reality that tank would have been dead, very dead by now. But it's a game, so it's fine. Waiting to see if something will pop in around the corner. This tank is really good when you get a chance to flank someone. I should use it in this way much more often, honestly. AMX M4. First shell. Did some good damage, but it didn't kill it. Oh no, a tortoise spawned right in front of me. Hopefully I am able to hit the ammo on the tortoise. Should be there. Yes it is. Okay, nice. Now I know that the tracks can easily absorb heat shells. I'm trying not to aim for the tracks, but the shells just like to go where I don't want them to go, which means they just go to the tracks by default. Even though I am not aiming at the tracks, they just go there, and that's just how it goes. That's just my luck. This whole platoon has very inaccurate main guns. None of them ever land where you want them to land. They do that very rarely. Also, this tank can easily roll to the side, which means you have to be very careful not to flip the tank upside down. Almost happened to me a couple times. It is very fast, and the center of gravity on this tank is in a very weird position, so you definitely do not want to yank it very hard left or right, since you can easily turn it over upside down or to the side. There we go. Almost happened. Did you see that? That's some driving skills there. Almost flipped the tank upside down. What would be fun? Now let me see if I can get some kills. With this thing you will have issues breaking the pipes and breaking structures. Since this thing is so light, yeah, let's just go around. Let's just not go through that. It has no mass to break that thing. And we have a tank coming in, a Death Star. There we go, nice, nice hit. I may go and capture C, since why not? In late game you can easily go and capture objectives, since most of the enemy tanks are already busy with something else. But of course be careful not to get flanked. Although I believe we are going to win this match quite easily. We already have a very good score. Yeah, we won. Alright, that was a nice one. Could have done better if my shells would do more damage, but I guess that's just not happening today. So this was a T114 or 11-4. This is definitely a very unique and interesting tank drive. It's very fun to drive as well. It has a learning curve to it, but once you get hang of it, it's honestly very fun. And hope you guys enjoyed. It was a very fun video to make with this tank. Such a unique vehicle. I love it. Might currently be one of my favorite tanks in the game. So if you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. And as always, I'll see you next time.